Hello everyone, I'm Tess, President of National Honor Society, and it is my great pleasure today to introduce you to our guest speaker. Joining us today is FBI Special Agent Scott Cieplik, a veteran of the United States Coast Guard and a member of Ledrick High School's graduating class of 1997. While he was a student at LHS, Special Agent Cieplik was a member of the boys' basketball team, but his forte was soccer. A 4-year varsity athlete, he was named All-ECC, All-State, and All-New England. He had 78 varsity goals in his high school career. He went on to study and play soccer at the United States Coast Guard Academy. During his collegiate soccer career, Special Agent Cieplik was a 4-year all-conference selection and an All-New England player. Upon his graduation, he was stationed in Duluth, Minnesota, and later in San Diego, California, though those assignments saw him deployed all around the world. In 2009, he left the Coast Guard and became an FBI Special Agent. He was fortunate to be stationed nearby out of Boston, and he has worked for the past several years in counterintelligence. Since April 15, 2013, he has been part of the Boston Marathon Bombing Task Force. He has taken a break from his very busy schedule to join us today, on Veterans Day, to talk a little bit about his experience and why he has grown to so value public service. So please join me in welcoming Special Agent Scott Cieplik.
Tess, thank you very much for introducing me. I'm very humbled to be here. I'm a product of Ledrick. I'm very proud to say that I come from this town. I'm actually a little more nervous speaking to a group this size than I was on Friday night when we were kicking in the door of an MS-13 member's house. So it's a little intimidating sitting here in front of you guys, but I'm going to try to get through this. Ms. Fagan asked me to come speak to the school and talk about what service means to me, why I chose to serve, and a little bit about why I continue to do so. I really thought about this, and it was a very easy answer for me. Growing up in Galesbury, over on Vinegar Hill Road, I was surrounded by classmates whose parents served in the military. Now, they were either at the Naval Submarine Base or at the Coast Guard Academy. That was about 20% of our student population. Now, another 10%, conservatively, their parents were working in Electric Boat, building the submarines for our silent service. I also had military service in my family. My grandfather was a World War II veteran who was part of the Coast Guard and brought into the Navy at the time of war. My father's brother served as a pilot in Vietnam for the Marine Corps, and he continued on to have a full 20-year career before retiring. My mother's brother served 20 years in the Army. Though I was never pressured to be in a part of the military service, I think my path was pretty clear. My dad, he was a civilian, worked at the Coast Guard Academy, was an athletic coach, and really proved to be a good role model and surround me with really good role models. Now, in today's day and age, a lot of people, they choose to look up to LeBron James, Sidney Crosby, Tom Brady, or perhaps Justin Bieber. For me, I was lucky enough to have these people in my household, coaching my soccer team, my sports teams, giving me an education in life that I would never expect. Now, the profound impact that those people had was far more tangible. You can see a guy score 20 points, leap from the foul line and dunk, but when you see people put their lives on the line day in and day out to make the world a better place, it really resonates with you. When I was in my junior year, I was starting to get recruited for college athletics. And that's when I realized that athletics is a vehicle to get a great education. And that's what I wanted to do, was use my athletic prowess to get the best available education for myself. I knew I wouldn't be a pro athlete because, one, I was 5'7", about 25 when I graduated, and a lot's changed since then. I now have 2 chins. I'm a little bit slower, and you know, it really puts things into perspective. Now, I also knew that I wanted to be something more significant than myself. I didn't want to just be the individual who got accolades. I wanted to be a part of something that gave back to others. The life lessons I've learned you get them from different places in life. For some people, it may be being part of the band, maybe being a part of the drama club, or perhaps you get it in the classroom. For me, I learned the life skills being an athlete and playing sports. For me, athletics taught me to work with others and accomplish something greater than just an individual role. It also taught me to persevere through adversity and accomplish something that I never would be able to think I could overcome. Finally, it also taught me to lead my peers and get out of my comfort zone, something that most people don't try to challenge themselves with. But it also prepared me to develop the critical thinking skills that I needed to be in the to succeed in the classroom. And that really prepared me for my career in the military. Now, most people think the Coast Guard is, the militant wing of the Salvation Army, but it's much more, much different than that. When you think about the function of our military, it's plain and simple: to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. What that means is we don't swear allegiance to a dictator or to royalty, but we swear allegiance to a document drafted by our forefathers over 200 years ago in 1789. The Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. A document that allows you, through the freedom of speech, to openly question your freely elected leaders and discuss the merits of their decisions. A document that allows you to practice or not to practice the religion of your choice. I've traveled around the world and I've witnessed how great these inalienable rights are. It's the military that ensures that these exist to this day. In other countries, I've witnessed women not being able to drive, to wear the clothes that they choose, or to even have a job. We don't have that in the United States. When I graduated from Ledyard High School in 1997, 4 of my classmates joined me at the United States Coast Guard Academy, something that's unheard of to this day. Out of the 5 of us, 4 of us eventually graduated and earned the privilege of wearing the uniform. 2 still serve today, 1 on active duty and 1 in the United Reserves. Upon graduating, I served in Duluth, Minnesota. I had to look it up on a map when they told me I was going there. I went and traveled to San Diego as well, and I deployed all over the world from there. While in Duluth, I can say with pride, I defended us from Canada for 2 years. Not once did they try to attack, and despite the cold, I enjoyed my time there. But it was while I was in San Diego, I was assigned to the Pacific Tactical Law Enforcement Team, a unit that consisted of about 130 deployable bodies, in which I had a team of 10 people that would travel around the globe interdicting illicit narcotics. On any given year, the unit would seize 100 metric tons of cocaine. Imagine having an F-150 pickup truck in the back, or the front parking lot where my practice soccer field used to be. And imagine having 100 of those right next to it. That's what they would seize on any given year. We'd also rescue about thousands of migrants each year, approximately between 2,000 to 3,000, trying to come to the United States in rickety boats, and believe it or not, when they come out of Cuba in 1957, Chevy or 2. But as a part of the Coast Guard, I was also an organization that's made up of 35,000 people, smaller than the New York City Police Department. They guard 4 million miles of coastline and deploy globally. It was when I was at Cieplik and as a member of the Coast Guard that I was on a drug bust, August 27th, 2005. The team that I was in charge of seized 2.9 tons of cocaine. Later that day, after we pulled it, we seized all the drugs and found the hidden compartment on a Bolivian flag motor vessel. Hurricane Katrina hit landfall on the Gulf Coast, Biloxi, Mississippi, and New Orleans. The Dutch frigate that I was assigned to at the time changed course and headed north. Fast as we could go, we pulled into Biloxi, and there I saw a destruction that I could never prepare myself for. 3 miles inland, every house, domicile, structure that you can think of trees that had been there for hundreds and hundreds of years were leveled. It looked like, honestly, someone had taken a large box of matches and just thrown it on the ground. That night, we flew to New Orleans, and the only way I can describe what I saw in the air was if you had rattled a hornet's nest, filled with aircraft, helicopters, people being pulled off of roofs, people dropping sandbags to repair the broken levees. 2 days later, we were transported ourselves to New Orleans and operated out of a base located approximately 2 blocks from where the levee had broken. And what I want to hammer home here is, imagine you're in a neighborhood like the Highlands or down in Presidential Estates in Gales Ferry. And imagine all those houses are now covered in water to their roofs on the first floor. Now expand that geographic area to include spots like Groton, New London, all of Ledger, parts of Waterford and Montville. And that's what you're dealing with, flooding so drastic that people are in the worst possible situation. It's almost like an episode of The Walking Dead. So, until that moment in my involvement in the Boston Marathon this past April, it was the most humbling experience of my life. I was proud to have gone door to door in the efforts that we made, pulling people off of their rooftops, providing them water, and trying to give them some semblance of organization in life. I served the people in the 101st Airborne that day, and it was an amazing period that continued on for the next 30 days. We worked 18 to 20-hour days, and that continued on until the mission was done. And I don't remember one of my guys turning to me and complaining about anything during that period, knowing that those people had lost their homes and their livelihoods that they had built. But this is just one story of service, and it's through my eyes. Each veteran that you're going to encounter throughout your life has their own stories. I ask you to do me a favor when you go home. If you have a family member that served or currently serves, pick up the phone, send them a Facebook message or a post, or maybe even take the extra time to write a handwritten note. Just include these 5 words. Thank you for your service. If you don't have a family member and you're at Walmart down in Groton or you're someplace like Holdridge's and you see someone wearing a hat that identifies them as a veteran, do the same thing. Nothing means more. Because these people have been to places like Normandy, Iwo Jima, Chosin, Quezon, Panama, Kuwait, and Fallujah. And they place their lives on the line so that you can live yours without any fear of choosing what you want to do or saying what you want to say. The military service is not for everybody. I do encourage everybody to serve. Now, I've got some friends who are just tremendous people, but I'll tell you what, the military is not for them. Now, some of them have joined the Peace Corps, some of them volunteer through their church, some of them are park and rec basketball coaches, and some of them have become teachers themselves. Try to make someone else's life better, someone else's life better each day. That's all you can ask for. And remember, when you see a veteran during these next couple days, thank them for their service and providing you those inalienable rights that you have today. Thank you.